Okay, let's dive right in. If you have ever tried to build a serious AI agent, you know the struggle. The thinking part, that's getting easier. But the doing part, that's where things get tough. Today, we're breaking down a huge announcement from OpenAI and Amazon that really tackles this problem head-on. And, this quote from OpenAI just hits the nail on the head. We've become fantastic at creating agents that can reason their way through a problem. But making them truly operational, getting them to perform complex, multi-step jobs out there in the real world, reliably, time and time again, well, that's been the real bottleneck.
Which brings us to the big question, right? What is the single biggest thing holding developers back? Why is it so hard to take these amazing agent prototypes off the whiteboard and put them into production where they can actually do some good?
Well, the answer really boils down to one core technical issue. Most AI APIs today are stateless. Now, what does that mean? Just think of it like talking to someone who has zero short-term memory. You ask a question, you get an answer. But the next time you talk, they have no idea who you are or what you just discussed. Now, that's fine for a simple prototype, but it completely falls apart for complex work.
Because the agent has no memory, the developer is left holding the bag. It's this massive, invisible burden. They have to manually build this whole support system around the agent, storing the state and context, figuring out which tools to call and when, handling all the potential errors, and somehow resuming tasks that might run for hours or even days. It's a ton of extra work that has nothing to do with the actual task.
And this is where the big news comes in, and why it's so exciting. OpenAI and Amazon have actually teamed up to build the solution, a stateful runtime environment, and it runs right inside Amazon Bedrock. The whole idea here is to lift that heavy orchestration work right off the developer's shoulders. This is a total game changer in terms of approach. The old way, the stateless way, meant you were building tons of custom code just to manage the agent's workflow. But the new way, it lets the runtime handle all that messy stuff automatically. The agent can finally just focus on its job, all thanks to something they call persistent context.
So what is this persistent context? They call it working context, and honestly, the easiest way to think about it is as the agent's active memory. It's the magic that carries all the critical information forward from one step to the next, letting the agent understand the entire history of a task, not just the single request it's looking at right now.
And this working context isn't just one thing, it's the whole shebang. It includes the entire conversation history, the status of any tools or workflows the agent is currently using, which environment it's operating in, and, this is super important, its identity and what it has permission to do. And the best part, all of this is managed for you automatically by the runtime.
Okay, so that's the tech, which is really cool. But what does it actually mean for us in the real world? What does this unlock? Well, by solving this core problem of state and memory, teams can finally move past the simple chatbots and start automating real core business processes. The announcement really boils it down to 3 game-changing benefits. First, you can get your agents into production way faster. Second, it's a much better fit for those complex, long-running jobs that were so hard before. And third, because it's native to AWS, it just inherits all the security and governance you already trust. Let's talk about that first one. Speed. This is just a massive boost to efficiency. Think about it. When the runtime handles all the complicated plumbing and infrastructure, your development teams are freed up to focus on what actually creates value, the business logic. They can build the agent, not the scaffolding around it.
The second benefit is all about reliability for what they call long-horizon work. And these are the tasks that don't happen in an instant. We're talking about a complex customer support ticket that might take a day to resolve, or a financial approval workflow with multiple steps. A stateful agent is built for this. It's designed to carry that crucial context forward every step of the way, without missing a beat.
And finally, governance. This is a big one for any enterprise. Because this runtime is operating inside your own AWS environment, it just plugs right into your existing security and compliance rules. You don't have to create new protocols or poke holes in your firewalls. It's made to work with the tools and rules you already have. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the possibilities are pretty incredible. Imagine a customer support agent that can dive into your CRM, then your billing system, and then your knowledge base to solve a problem all in one go. Or an IT agent that can provision a new laptop, install the right software, and set permissions in one seamless workflow. These kinds of complex, multi-system processes are suddenly so much easier to build. This all sounds pretty great, right? So the natural next question is, how can you start using it? The Stateful runtime is going to be available in Amazon Bedrock soon.
So for now, the best way to get ready is to start talking to your OpenAI or your AWS account teams.
And that really leaves us with a powerful question to think about. For years, managing an agent's state has been this huge ceiling on our ambition. But if that problem is now fundamentally solved, what does that unlock for you? What's that one complex, multi-system workflow that always seemed too hard, too brittle, that's suddenly on the table? That's the really exciting future this opens up. Thanks for tuning in.